Come in here.
Yep.
Granholm messed up the time.
No shame in my game. I'm here.
Strategas Research Partners. We begged him to come on, and he was going to be on anyway at some point. You know what? Can we just talk? If I let you start going on Vice President Harris's policy initiatives, people are going to get so upset with me for letting you.
So why don't we do it? Why don't we go for it?
Let me just ask you this: when you hear things like price controls or 28% corporate tax, or if you look back at some of the comments she's made in the past, aren't some of these things to a person like you just like outrageously beyond the pale, and how did we get here?
Yeah, I mean, especially on the price control front, right? Because, and again, to be fair to people,
not on getting rid of the filibuster, banning fracking, getting rid of private insurance, abolishing ICE, making it a civil crime to cross the border with that. None of those things are.
They all bother me too, Joe. But we'll try to. I figured I didn't have to, fill in all the blanks there for you.
Yeah. But I'm here for you.
On the price control thing, of course, Republicans did it. Nixon did it in the 70s. It was a disaster.
People ate their pets down in Venezuela. It didn't work so well down there.
Yeah, it doesn't work mainly, especially on something like groceries. If you look at Kroger's, right? Kroger, probably purest play, 2% profit margins, right? Microsoft has profit margins of 35%. Google has profit margins of 27%. Who's to say? Who's being greedy? In commodity-type products, price controls don't work. It increases the problems that you're trying to solve. It only makes them worse.
Some of the greatest companies in the world are great companies that employ hundreds of thousands of employees because they're so good at what they do that they're able to earn large profits and employ a lot of people and pay a lot of taxes.
Profits are the mother's milk of capitalism. That's what allows people to have, as you said, have jobs, invest in new capital, invest in...
People with jobs pay taxes, too.
Precisely. The whole idea, again, the big difference between the two candidates is largely, do you want central planning, which is the Harris plan, or do you want free markets, which I believe very strongly, I believe even more strongly every day, especially given what I've seen with the Fed over the past 13 or 14 years, that free markets are the best ways to allocate.
How should we prepare for that? We need to stick to markets probably, because there are others that would say none of these things are probably going to happen anyway. And if you have a deeply flawed individual versus someone who we're going to be told is,
is also deeply flawed. We're
all
deeply flawed.
Right? Maybe we are, but whatever word you want to use, insurrection, whatever you want to use.
Right.
There are people that are saying, I just can't, and because of character issues. I don't care what the policies are because they won't happen anyway in a divided government. Are you preparing now for what some of the a continuation and maybe even further left than the Biden administration? Are you preparing for that with your portfolio?
Joe, not right now, and mainly because I would say we just wrote a report on Friday that said hard to be short before the election, right? And it's hard to be short for two reasons. One is the Fed's going to start easing, and the second is all presidents do this from both sides, but the Biden administration is doing this to a level I've never seen before. They are greasing the skids. There's in terms of fiscal stimulus and regulatory stimulus, employee retention tax credit, forgiving student loans, strategic petroleum reserve. You're going to see a lot of stimulus moving into the economy.
$25,000 for a home.
Right. I mean, but those things, that won't get passed before that. All these things, though, that can be done by executive action or just by regulatory changes or interpretations between now and the election. So you're going to see both fiscal, regulatory, and monetary stimulus between now and the election. Hard to be short. The problem is, the real question, in my opinion, the thing I'm watching most closely is the 10-year Treasury yield, because that will tell you when the market has had enough of this profligate spending that we've seen really from both sides for a long time.
So we're at all-time highs in energy production in the country. Can that, if executive actions with the EPA or with a mandatory move to net zero or with a rush to an energy transition, none of those things, all the rhetoric that I thought the left wanted to end a lot of the fossil fuel production. Now they're bragging that it's at an all-time high. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out whether they failed at ending it or what. But now they're bragging about it. Will we have a problem in the next 4 years meeting energy demand? Electricity prices are already up 30%.
Yeah, listen, I think you want a supply side approach to this, which is you want as much supply as possible. And I don't doubt for a second, in my own opinion, that a Harris administration would seek to limit and re-regulate or continue to regulate the energy sector. The irony is that tends to be good for energy stocks. So if you want energy stocks to do well, if you want to enrich shareholders of energy companies, you want to vote Democrat. If you want to empower consumers, vote Republican, because they'll have cheaper energy prices. And of course, as we know, AI uses 10 times the electricity that a Google search uses. So if we want to invest in these new technologies, you need as much energy production as possible. There's no country in the history of the world that ignored or didn't take advantage of its own natural resources. Until 1945, most countries would go to war over access to natural resources like oil. This is insanity. The best way out, the best way to make the environment cleaner is to have productivity, to have growth. And then we'll have technologies that will allow us to have cleaner air, cleaner water, all the rest of it.